dance. So I thought, what the heck, I need a vacation.
You haven't been dancing very much yet.
I know, I'm just starting.
Chances in my life.
Give me some examples. Really risky stuff?
Well, Merv, there's one thing I've learned in all my years is sometimes you gotta say, what the heck? Make your move.
Now you do.
It's all, I mean, through everything, through such the hard times, our family kind of geared things, made things easier to keep things positive, opposed to dwelling on, hey, you know, look, it's Christmas and, you know, we don't have any money to, like, buy all these gifts. I mean, it was the important thing is that we're together and we're healthy and...
He's very sure of himself. He is, very see with my family and you know, it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I don't, like, resent it. I'm not tortured at night by it. You know, actually, I'm very happy that people, you know, think enough of my work, you know, to feel that way. It's a tough life. You know, you really have to be dedicated. They only take the best of the best, you know, to get to where they are. And Top Gun is only the top 1% of naval aviators gets to go there and, you know, go into ACM, air combat maneuvering. So it's a tough life, especially in the Navy. You're living on a carrier for 9 months. You're risking your life.
Risk taker. How is that?
Self-described.
That's what you say about yourself. You like risk. You've told me that before, right?
It's true, yes.
How does that factor into your success, do you think? This will be the psychological probing section of the interview.
Yes. You're going too fast. You cross over that stripe, you're going to hit the wall. What about it? Oh, yeah. Actually, I haven't done that much driving yet. We haven't shot a lot of the race stuff. But you hit the wall at 180 miles an hour. It'll change your perspective on what life is all about.
As a kid, you weren't a kid actor, were you?
Well, I did it when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and then I didn't do anything for many years. And then my senior year in high school, I did a play, Guys and Dolls.
Did you Guys and Dolls?
Yeah, the Guys and Dolls.
From the artist.
You know, Paul Brickman, who directed that, he took a week to edit that scene because he just let me go. He just let the music go, and you know, he could use all the furniture, and I just danced around, and he just, you know, I just went. Yeah. Do it again.
HBO. Now the rest of these folks here. Hey, just tell us what brings you and Nick to the People's Choice Awards.
He calls me Nick.
You and Nick?
We were nominated. My picture was nominated. Yeah, my picture was nominated. That's why we're here.
Why the People's Choice Awards? What makes them special then?
Well, it's because it's the people. That's who we make the movies for, and just to be nominated for this, it's very important, and it means a great deal to me. You know, in feature film.
And are you?
I think I've done all right. Someone that sticks by their word. I think that people on a daily basis, whether they realize it or not, are dealing with truths and lies and moral choices, and a lot of times that it's very difficult for someone.
I mean, it doesn't feel. I feel just really excited about it. I was just very proud of the movie and really excited to get this kind of acknowledgement for it.
Well, we started shooting in November and we finished. I finished that the night before, but
That's insane.
Well, you know what? I ended up getting a lot of weeks off when we were shooting. So the shooting-wise was about 10 months. 10 and a half months.
Yeah.
Working with Stanley, he was great.
Kevin Houvain, Rick Nisita, Tori Metzger, Bert Field, Susan Batson, Larry Kopakin, and you know, most of all, I've got to talk about Paul Thomas Anderson.
David Ames is a guy who, I don't think he's a bad guy at all. I think he's a guy who he lost his parents, and he's snowboarding through life. He doesn't really recognize it in life. You have to take responsibility. There's moments in time where you have all these things that, you know, swirling around you, and
a little bit of magic. We're all here tonight or sitting at home watching because something came off a movie screen. A little bit of magic touched our lives. And you always remember where you were, the theater, the popcorn, the people you were with when it happened.
You did your own
It's
stunts, which
1960.
I think is completely nuts. I'd be like, that's Tom Cruise, and you need to get his face cut. Where was your mother?
She was there on the set.
And she let you do this?
You know, she's seen me do stuff that she just, you know, since I was a little kid up in trees, you know, I just did stuff. And
Well, what kind of
she never
training
said
did you go
Every
through
role
for this?
requires research, and every role requires soul searching and my own understanding of life and what it is that I want to communicate with that character. And it's also part of the research is getting the communication with the director also.
The biggest movie star in the world. Answered a couple of my guys never seem to know. That's like some mental block area.
no, we were going to plan it. We were planning it.
Let me get your shovel. You want to dig your way out?
We're going to plan this.
You got to plan this.
We're talking about it.
Okay.
We're making lists and talking
checking
about
it
it.
twice.
Yeah, I can't wait.
In certain areas and challenge them, definitely. I think that it's a picture that is incredibly relevant today, and it's a reminder. And I also think, you look at Redford's pictures.
We weren't necessarily trying to put a positive spin on anything. We were just trying to tell the story. And yeah, there's a lot of pressure when we were making the film. Just, I've only played a historical character. This is my second time. Ron Kovic, and Born on the 4th of July. And then just...
Wow. I love you all. It's a real honor for me to be here tonight in this great city of London, this great country, England.
Separating at times to try to, it was actually, I was using them as a rudder for direction. And that's, we figured it out, I figured it out as we were going.
He's just a great character. He's this analog character in a digital age. He's a guy who comes into town, doesn't want to get involved, and yet ends up getting sucked into a story and then having to dish out some
guy, basically. He's a guy who, he fixes drones, and he's in charge of security for the resource gatherers and those big machines that are...
And I remember telling the pilot, I said, listen, I got to work with the test pilot. I'm a pilot. I love flying airplanes.
Sure.
I'm like, look, the angle of attack, I want to make sure my legs are hitting against the fuselage. And he was just kind of smiling at me the whole time. And I was like, really, I needed my
opens almost at the end of a movie, and this woman who helps him and helps these other people, and it starts this relationship between them, just a dialogue. And she actually has his old job at the 110th.
Going to interviews, and I finally said to the studios, I said, look, let's bring premieres to all of these countries, and then we can meet the fans. And for me, that's what it's about. I make my movies for people, and I love those evenings. And
Like just dance hall scene? Was he dancing? I don't know. When did you break? Which one did you break your leg on? Do you remember?
It was the easy one where I'm running and I jump from one building to the next.
Yeah, so
and I
easy. So easy. The easy scene.
It was the easy scene.
Dude,
the film I ever produced, Mission Impossible. The very first film. And I'd been asked by many studios to go and make films for them and produce films for them. And I was waiting for the right one. And then I went to Paramount. I wanted to go make movies around the world. Since I was 4 years old, I've wanted to make films. And I had two things I wanted. Luckily, the studio, they wanted me to do it so badly that I was allowed to do that. And Simpson Bruckheimer were great. I learned a lot from them and Tony.